Value is the worth, importance, or usefulness of something to someone. We are taught as children through our agents of primary socialization, the family, to look after cultural products we value and what we value. This signifies our taste bracket. A taste is learnt through habitus. The value we place on an object signifies our identity. It was Bordeaux who identified cultural hierarchies in our society. This is when some cultural products are believed to be higher in status than others. The books of the Western canon are highly valued and are thought to be higher status than cultural products of low culture. The cultural products games and the cultural practice of gaming are considered lowbrow and therefore to be part of the low culture, the culture of the masses. I value games as they have been a large influence in my life from a young age. I believe games have value even though they are part of popular culture. They are popular and have many classic games such as Tetris and Pac-Man, which are still hailed as games that everyone should play during their life, so like the touchstone cultural products of the Western canon have longevity. I was socialized into this cultural practice by my father, who was the primary agent of socialization when I was a child. This was later reinforced when I found the Rooster Teeth website, the secondary agent of socialization. The mass media encultured me to be happy that I am a gamer. Identity is the sense we have of ourselves, which we then represent elsewhere, a person's social meaning. We communicate our identity through the teams we are part of, the clothes we wear, the cultural products we value, and the language we speak. A group is a collection of individuals who interact in the same way and share some common goals and interests, as defined by Dimbleby and Burton. Status in a group could be ascribed, achieved, or assumed depending on whether it is a primary or secondary group and whether it is a family, friend, or work group. A group of gamers are typically a secondary informal friendship group. As all groups, gamers went through Tuckman's 4 stages in a group's lifetime. These are forming, storming, norming, and performing. So this tells us how a group slowly becomes more and more stable until its internal structure and hierarchy is properly established. My idiolect has been influenced by games. Language is also important to gamers as it has its own restricted code that is used a lot by the subculture to identify certain parts of games. As I enjoy games and use this restricted code of this in-group, many words I use are applied to games and are otherwise not relevant in normal conversation. Words like Cerberus, a terrorist group, Atlas, a humanoid-shaped combat robot, and Citadel, a place for galactic politics and trade, are all words that are intrinsically linked to the Mass Effect trilogy. To me, this language is redundant, but to others it is entropic, so would create semantic barriers between the gamer and the non-gamer. That would then create another psychological. The clothes we wear communicate to our in-group. Many subcultures have a dress code that people conform to, but gamers do not have that much influence to clothing, so it is a very informal group that freely allows any kind of dress code. Although a stereotypical representation of a gamer is encoded within the secondary agent of the mass media as someone who has a paradigm of clothes that relate to games. A few examples are the N7 hoodies to do with the Mass Effect series, the shirt to do with the main character, The Last of Us, Joel, and the scarf with the design of the face of the creeper from the game Minecraft. I don't comply with the stereotypical dress code of the subculture, but I do enjoy seeing it. This style of clothing is stereotypically symbolic and indexical of the gaming culture, as many of what is printed on the clothing is a restricted code that is mainly understood by gamers. Because I do not comply with this dress code, my interest in games is not in my open self, but gatekept to my hidden self in Jahari's window model.
What if it's true?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed.
I'm not very open about how much I enjoy and play games, so this is in my core self. This is due to me gatekeeping information I don't want other people to know. This is because, owing to a somewhat negative perception of the gaming subculture in society, I filter out information that would result in negative feedback, decoded through employing the looking glass self. This results in cognitive dissonance, as I do love and value gaming, but do not want to receive negative feedback from my peers. To avoid the resultant cognitive dissonance, I would then employ a self-maintenance strategy, such as mixing with like-minded people, such as other gamers, or selectively evaluating myself. people I play games with are in my secondary group of friends, so are associates in Dimbleby and Burton's level of companionship, as I only know them on the internet. They are an informal group that I have achieved membership of as I play games with them. The internet gives gamers a form of safety as they can be anonymous and increase their self-esteem by talking with like-minded people. This helps give value to games as the internet links millions of gamers together to play as a group, and this helps add value to games as it makes them more enjoyable. Games are part of secondary socialization, so some games can help teach children very important life skills such as numbers and counting, so adds further value as they can help the next generation. This helps children from simply complying to play games to identifying and eventually internalizing enjoying games. I value games as games have shaped me as a person. These cultural products and their cultural practices have influenced how I speak and what I buy, but have not affected how I dress. I value games and think all people should. They can educate, develop social skills, reaction times, unite groups to create a sense of belonging, and boost self-esteem.